Who's ready for a little Wang? Well, I'm sorry, it only comes in large.
What's up, I'm Tamtu here at the Devolver Digital booth. I'm here with Pavel for Shadow Warrior 2. How has the reception been for the game so far?
I mean, it's been super positive so far, so we are really excited to be here and present the game to the press.
So you've successfully rebooted a franchise. What's the key to success, would you say? Because the previous Shadow Warrior has been well received, and you've had a wonderful opportunity to build upon that with this game.
Yeah, in Poland, especially in the 90s, PC was the most popular platform to play on. So we understand, that kind of games like the original Shadow Warrior, Duke Nukem, Doom, old school shooters. And Devolver, our publisher, they are from Texas. So obviously, they are from the cradle of old school shooters. So we have the very good chemistry, and we understand how to reboot, that kind of games for the modern audience.
Ooh, shiny. One for the money, two for the killing everybody.
So for the ones who don't know yet, introduce us to the Wang and the story premise of this game.
Okay, so Wang is, he was working for the Zilla Corporation. He was sort of like a hitman, assassin, bodyguard for his employer. Then we had this whole demon invasion in the Shadow Warrior 1, where Wang split paths with Orochi Zilla. And right now in Shadow Warrior 2, Japan has been overtaken by a merge with Shadow Realm that we visited in the first game. And Wang is living, he's like a Ronin, a samurai without a master. And he's fighting demons, making good money out of it. The whole world actually looks like right now we have humans and demons living alongside each other or fighting against each other. Yeah, and Wang tries to, find a place for himself in this strange world.
Right. So what is different in this new game? Because in the presentation we saw a massive scope of level and of course also the multiplayer co-op option in this.
Yeah, so maybe I will start with the co-op.
Yeah.
The first game was a single player only. In this game we've added the up to 4 players co-op, so you can invite 3 of your friends to join your session. And the cool thing about it is that since Shadow Warrior is a story-driven game, and we have this hero with a very cool personality, we want every player to see himself in the first-person view as Wang. So everyone gets exactly the same experience in terms of story. The other addition to the game is the loot-based upgrade system. So right now the most valuable upgrades will fall out from enemies, so that we think it will encourage people to engage in combat and get better gear for yourself. Finally, the level design. The first game was a corridor shooter, which was sort of an homage to the old school games.
Yeah.
But as a studio we want to develop, so we also wanted to create bigger levels, more open levels, with much more freedom of movement, with more vertical architecture. And that also allowed us to implement new gameplay features like double jumps, aerial dashes, climbing up the walls, running on the rooftops, and combine that with combat.
So how is the experience for playing with other people? Is it drop in, drop out? Like if you're playing one mission, you can just invite a player and they get the same level? Because you mentioned the levels being random
generated. Yeah. Of course, if you are playing with other players, you all see the same level. As for the experience, of course the difficulty will increase with each player joining your session, but that also creates a chance for better loot to drop out from enemies. The loot is of course individual for every player, so you don't have to fight your friends, in order to pick up something. As you mentioned, it's a drop-in, drop-out co-op mode, so you can freely play it in single player, join somebody else's session, and then continue your own game.
Right. Oh, look at you! What a mess!
How does it split from the main story campaign? Because I imagine some people would like to grind with other people just to get gear, and then they can continue on their own in the stories.
So we have story missions like in the first game. We also added the optional side quests, which are also they are sort of like deep and explore the characters, the NPCs that you interact with. But for grinding, we have a special random assignments. So this is something that if you've beaten all of the missions in the game, but still you want to play it, you enjoy it, then you have these random assignments that can be. You can play them infinitely, actually, just for grinding, for getting better gear, fighting stronger monsters. And that's especially designed for the co-op, because there's nothing more cool than playing with your friends, you know.
Sounds like it was designed with consoles in mind as well, especially with PS4 and Xbox One having so many games that people can just play online together instead of restricting it just to PC. How did that open up things for design for you?
I mean, you know, it's always cool to make a game on other systems than PC, because you can also, you know, think of some new features. You know, some consoles, you know, they have something to do with controller, that kind of stuff. So we can experiment with something new all the time. It's also challenging, you know, to maintain the same quality, of course, on all of the platforms. But we don't want to limit ourselves to only one system. I mean, we know that we have to open up to all of the players.
So how long has the game been in development, and when can we expect to see the game coming out?
We started the development like a year ago, and we speculate that the game will be released probably a year from now. So it's going to be 2016, late summer, on all platforms simultaneously. So PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Thank you.